Hey there folks, Paula's here once again. Today I have a super special piece of gear. So, I mean, this thing has been out for a really long time. It's legendary, it's been used by tons of pros all around the world. It's the Kemper profiling amp. And I absolutely love it. Big thank you to Andrew Baina from, Andrew Baina, you know, the guy, the YouTuber, for goodness sake. Thank you for switching me out, bro. I lent him my Axe FX2. He lent me his Kemper. I have to give it back in a minute. I really don't want to. I really don't want to. This is a fantastic unit. This is absolutely it won the fight. And there's so much to dive into. I'm gonna play a little bit more. This is the Fireball 100 sound, I believe. And it's just fantastic. I absolutely adore this thing. All right, so without me bumping the end of my strap against my desk too much here, this is the story all about how I discovered the Kemper for myself. I went on tour with a band called Nightmare on the Devastation on the Nation tour, and I got to borrow a live rig, which was a powered Kemper, which means that you can run it directly into a cabinet and into front of house, and it was fantastic. This is not a powered Kemper. This is a regular good old toaster Kemper, and it's fantastic, of course, as you can hear. And I'm running it into my Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 into Logic Pro X. There is nothing else going on in terms of plugins, all right? Nothing. So what you're hearing is what you're gonna get. And okay, so let me digress. Right, I was on tour. And this tour was fantastic. It was a very easy load in and load on. We borrowed backline. It was fantastic. We were ready to go on stage in 6 minutes. I'm very proud of that. We were always good to go. And the big reason for that is because the Kemper was just so damn easy to use. I had never not used a tube amplifier on tour before. This was a really big deal. This was a comfort level thing that was kind of scary for me. And maybe I would have brought my Axe FX2, but I was really nervous about it being toured with in the first place. And if it breaks, it breaks. It's a piece of technology I wasn't willing to risk in the first place, and I already had so much to do in regard to getting down there in the first place. Bringing a rig was just not in the cards for me. I didn't have a power stage. That was the biggest issue. So what is it about this that I like so much? Simplicity! Oh my God, look at all these buttons, they all work. That's a huge part of it. The other part of it was that it was completely reliable. I played 26 shows with the Kemper, and I had never played digital before the first show in San Diego, and I was absolutely convinced. It is an extremely impressive and powerful piece of technology. This sounds so good. When it sounds good, it sounds so good. The profiles that you can nab online are immense. And actually, there will be a little bit of a certain kind of profile with a certain kind of amplifier that will be featured later on in this video. It has something to do with these pickups, and if you've watched my YouTube videos before, you'll already know what I'm talking about. Don't fast forward just yet. We have some more ground to cover. So this is a Engel Fireball sound. I absolutely like it, and actually I really adore it. I've been using this a lot. Andrew hasn't been using this one as much for whatever reason, and I totally understand why. It's not exactly his cup of tea. However, this is my cup of tea, and I'll show you why. I can play Symphony X riffs, and it sounds legit. It sounds awesome. See, now to me, this is one of the most satisfying amp sounds I've ever gotten. ever. I'm always really stoked on the gear that I review because I like to review things that I enjoy, and I want to explain to my viewers and my audience, which I think you guys trust me quite a bit, why I dig it so much. This is one of the most satisfying tones I've ever gotten, and it's not even really mine. All I've done is tweaked a bit of the middle treble and presence to kind of because of the pickups of the guitar. They're super hot and hairy. Hot and hairy sounds tremendously bad. Anyway, you get the picture. They're super hot, super hairy, and I really needed to cut back some of the equalization of this amplifier profile. And it works really well. It sounds stupendously good. So one thing is that this is an older Kemper. As you can see, it has definitely been loved before. And apparently the LEDs don't work exactly the way they should. As you can see, this one isn't firing right here in camera B. And so that isn't a really big deal to me. It says on the screen exactly what's going on. I'm sure that this is some kind of an LED fix that's possible. One thing that I found really fantastic, if I switch to the tuner for a second and go to the system, you can change the LCD color. Dude, you can have a purple rig. A purple rig! I feel like Flanders. Purple drapes! Ah! Amazing. So let me put this back. I think that Andrew had it on a certain green tinge. If I can find it. Here we go, here we go. I think it was this one. Wow! So that's really cool. Now back to rig. Is that what I want to do? No, I don't even know all these damn settings. Good enough for me. I have changed over the color as well as the current patch. I was on the Engel Fireball, now I'm on Andrew Baina's own Baina 5153. Let's hear how it sounds. All right, you get the picture. I love the sound of this damn thing. This is, again, a 5153 sound. That sounded huge. So there was a little bit of a video jump. I had to turn down my monitors because my neighbors are they're getting a little pissy that I'm playing this so loud. It's an 8:15 p.m. in Vancouver as I'm shooting this, so anyways, who cares? Moving on. So, he's got a bulb lead patch. Well... Sounds good. So here's the thing, is that I actually have had a pretty hard time finding a sound that I don't get along with. And I don't like that. Where's the bad sounds, right? Well, I've been avoiding some patches on purpose, so we might as well go through this a little bit more. Let's see here. Okay. I think, okay, so what's this? Oh, bad Fortin. Okay, well, what's the regular Fortin? 29 Fortin Meshuggah FT2. Well, that sounds a little better already. Again, I do modify the sound depending on the guitar and the pickups. I do not save over what is already there because that's not cool. Don't do that to someone else's kit. All right, you kind of get the picture. I can do that. So this is a really cool button that just says noise gate. Knob that just says noise gate. So what's this at? This feels really intense. It is really intense. That's why I want more hair. Let me hear this now. This thing is so damn tight, it's terrifying. Tight and terrifying is a really good way to describe your guitar tone. All right, moving along. Again, guys, like, I'm just exploring this with you, basically. Oh, what's that? That says Nollie 5150 rhythm. All right. Yeah, I'm not in love with that one. But I mean, what is that? One of 5 tones, one of 4 tones so far? All right, there was another one I wanted to check out. All right, Powerball High Gain. Let's hear how that sounds. Powerball High Gain Plus. I'm not in love with it. It doesn't really work for me personally. All right. And then I'm back at the Fireball Metal. All right. So I have this way that I like to dial in my amps. Once the knob starts to make a noticeable difference, I'm like, oh, okay, that's the tone that's gonna fit with this guitar. That's what I mean by EQing to the pickups of an instrument. And it works out really well, because now I love this sound. Like, that's just bitey enough and trebly enough, even a little bit hot. Actually, I would cut that down. Yeah, like right there is pretty damn Paul Oz. All right, you're getting the picture here. Now, this video wouldn't be complete if I wasn't also using some other sounds. All right, so I have changed the sound to an amp that's no longer in there. That's because I can actually use the very lovely software called Rig Manager. So this is an Angle Savage 120 lead sound that someone has created. I don't know who the person is. Thank you to whoever has created this. It doesn't say anything in the preview. So, oh, it says Anders, I guess. And this was made in 2012? Oh my goodness. So this is quite old. We'll see how it translates to some Paul Oz EQing. All right, we're getting there. All right, so this is a little bit mid for me, but that's actually perfect in terms of a mix-ready tone in the first place. So cool. Oh man. All right, so what else did I have loaded up in here? Let me see. I would actually like to load up a very special amplifier. This is a Friends amp. This is actually Good Friends amp. This is Simon Sludge's profile. It's his Omega Iridium OR Plus. Let's see how this sounds with this guitar. I'm gonna probably have to EQ something because I think it's keeping the EQ settings that I've got going on right now. So let me take a listen here. I'm really digging it, but it's a little bit fuzzy for me. Live, I actually use this exact preset and it translates really well. So don't judge a tone by its cover, I suppose is what that kind of goes to say. And I use it through a cabinet, I use it through front of house, and it sounds very different. So I'm fascinated. I wonder how that all works at the end of the day. Anyhow, you guys can kind of see that I'm a bit of a Kemper fanboy at this point, and it's kind of absurd. Fat boy. What does that even, what do you mean by fat boy? Fort and fat boy? All right, folks, so this is the part of the video in which I was referencing in the first little bit. This is the Meshuggah #1 profiled for the Kemper. This is that very specific tone pack that you can get. Let's hear how this sounds. I'm so impatient to try it that I can't even like cut this from the video. Holy! Alright, so here's the thing. The Axe-FX 2 is a wonderful unit. I have owned it since 2012, 2013. And it's a very complicated one. There's a huge learning curve. With the Kemper, it very much feels like plug and play. And in a recent video, I say how much I do like keep it simple, stupid kind of mentalities when it comes to gear. I think for that reason, the Kemper is really winning me over because this immediately sounds great. All I'm doing is previewing these different amps. Basically, what is this? It says Fortin Giant. Let's try, what does that even, what do you mean? The last one was called Fat Boy. What the hell is this one gonna sound? Like, I love that utility. This is already like mixed to a certain degree. You can then continue to improve the sound with a very basic, nice little, tiny little 3-band EQ. Okay, 4-band presence is like that top end, which is pretty important for making it sound like a real amp. All right, great. Wonderful. The utility of this is magnificent. I'm very much impressed by the Kemper profiling amp, and I've seen this light. I have never spent this much time with one in the first place, and it's 2019, almost 2020. For goodness sake, I'm late to the party, but I getcha. Now, it wouldn't be a Kemper Fortin Meshuggah #1 profiled amp thing without an 8-string, so I'm gonna switch. In my excitement and exhaustion, I might have kicked camera B a little bit. I'm so sorry, camera B. Here we go. Maybe this is the way that you were before. And, well, let's hear it. I kind of forgot it was in C. I kind of understand why Andrew Baina plays 9 strings. Now we're back in E, like a regular man's tuning. This is f***ing absurd. I mean, like, this is ridiculous. Like, I did legitimately forget that I had tuned this down to a C. That was for a very special, cool reason that I can't talk about. But then for the Kemper to respond so, like, easily, like, oh yeah, no problem. I was in D standard and then I was in C. That's like, what is that? That's an octave and another tone down. I'm really, really stoked. And I mean, I think that this review has basically been me just testing tones out of excitement. I haven't really gone through any of the settings because if you want a video like that, that exists already. This is basically me discovering the utility of this amplifier and explaining to you guys, this is absolutely one of the best things in terms of just amp gear sound. This is one of the best sounds I've gotten. Full stop. Like, no BS, no crap. You know, I don't kid around when it comes to YouTube. I don't try to sell things to people. This is legitimate. This is fantastic. I'm so impressed. This is legitimately one of the most scary tones I've gotten. I'm gonna ask Andrew to borrow this again because this is just, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time, that's all. I'm super, super impressed with the work that Kemper does, and I do look forward to the day in which I own my own. I really don't have anything negative to say. I feel like the profiles are absolutely the heart of what drives this machine, but the fact that you can get such insane profiles and then just quickly EQ over whatever you require, it's just absurd to me that this exists. The Axe effects in comparison, because I mean, I'm only comparing it because I've owned it for like 6 years. In comparison, there's a huge learning curve and there's a lot that you can really get to the nitty gritty. But I've spent hours on that unit. Hours and hours and hours trying to learn through it, and I've enjoyed those hours. It taught me how to mix. It taught me so much, and so I'm very thankful for that experience. And now going from that to trying out this Kemper, it's like my world has changed. It's to this extent, and I don't like to hyperbolize. It's YouTube. People do that enough in the media in the first place, but this is absolutely astoundingly awesome. I'm really enjoying every single note that I'm playing right now. And I mean, if that isn't translating to video by the grin on my face when I get to play that low C, like, I'm gonna rewind the video. I'm excited to edit this video just to see what the hell my face did when I noticed that. Like, that's absurd. It's absurd. I'm absolutely enamored, and this is a wonderful, wonderful unit. I highly recommend that if you've been on the sidelines for this kind of technology, try an Axe Effects, try a Kemper. See which one that you kind of vibe with a bit more. Right now, for me, due to the simplicity, due to the ease of use in regards to just getting a tone going, it's got to be the Kemper right now. Like, there's nothing but love for Fractal Audio in terms of my experience with them, but after going on the road with them and after this video and the last, I think, week that I've had this, just borrowing it, I'm convinced. I'm completely convinced. Massive shout out and thank you to Zach Corey, who hooked up all this awesomeness in regards to the Fortin tones. Fortin Giant legitimately makes me feel like an Iron Giant. I mean, listen to this chord. It's really, really delicious, and I have enjoyed making this video. Again, I'm just going to start repeating myself. It's a wonderful unit, and I look forward to the day in which I own one, because it's kind of it kind of sold itself to me. I didn't need anyone else to explain it, really. Andrew and I sat down and we mostly like went for a chat and hung out, and then we kind of went our separate ways, and This is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to me and comment below what you thought of the tones. I see that I have probably about 25 minutes worth of footage that I'm gonna need to edit down, and it's worth it. And I hope that you guys enjoyed every tone that I went through, even the ones that were questionable. I'm still stoked that I was able to just, oh, I don't like that one, let me just move on and try something else. I love that, I love that. Of course, Andrew Bain has definitely curated his tones and whatnot, but anyways, to digress, I really enjoyed this, and this was a blast of a video to make. Cheers, YouTube. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm gonna play myself out because it's so fun. Holy!